Now, get ready for the hottest podcast coming out of Dallas, Texas, with Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. Stars talking Cowboys. Let's go!
Yo, here we go again, back up on the scene. Stars talking Cowboys, you know what I mean. The podcast repping everything with silver and blue. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Let me tell you about the crew. Sean Fox spitting facts, K Boogie's giving game, Nikki's got the stats, so of course she covers everything. It's showtime, so let's get to the biz, and that Stars talking Cowboys. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Hey, what's up, sis? How you doing?
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Yes.
So, it's been a while. It's been a minute since we done jumped on here and been able to talk and chop it up about the new season we got to look forward to. Believe it or not, I'm excited. I'm ready to see what happens, see what this season is about to bring us. Had a great draft, despite some fans don't feel like it was. I think we had a great draft, and in all honesty, I feel like we had a great off season. I think Jerry and them made some very solid moves this off season. Um, it was a quiet off season. They made moves silently, and they made a lot of moves to, I think, help us move into the right direction. Um, and even after today's trade, although he may not be one of everybody's favorite person, um, traded for because of his diva ways that were displayed upon him in Pittsburgh. Um, I feel like we made a great trade. We made a great move. What we've all been asking for is to get Dak help, get CD Lamb help, get a positive receiver that can help Dak, that can help CD, that can help open up the offense. Get a receiver that defenses respect. Get a receiver that defenses will know they have to game plan for. Now you're putting yourself in a situation that you have a legit number two receiver. Um, age wise, speed. Um, he have his times with drop balls, as well as CD Lamb have his time with drop balls. But I think he immediately brings this offense to a top 10 offense. Hell, probably even a top 5 offense. If you got the right play calling, the right and the coaching, making the right moves and making sure, he's involved early in the game. Um, he will definitely draw attention to defenses as well as CD Lamb. Now you got an opportunity for your middle and for your tight ends to have big games, be wide open. Um, they can't cover both of them. They can't double both of them. You actually got a legit receiver that defenses fear. Now they saying, "Oh Lord, what we gonna do? We got to double Lamb. We got to double him. So now you got to take the chance and letting him leave in the middle of the field wide open. If you got a healthy Fergie back, you got a problem on your hand, right? That's gonna also open up the running game. You're doubling the receiver, so now we gotta let them run the ball. You know, I think the only thing that stood out for me with him, again, was his diva ways. But that could have been, as I sit back and think about that and look at that, we could say a person have diva ways, but we don't know what entailed behind scenes in these organizations. We don't know what entailed and what went on with him, with these other organizations. And he's a playmaker. He's a baller. And most ballers and most playmakers want the ball, or they want a chance to help with winning. Um, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it here. I don't want to sit on the sideline. I don't want to hear about it happening in the locker room. I don't want it to be a cancer to us from, what they said. And, yeah, Dallas got a good receiver. They got a good legit receiver, but he's a cancer to the locker room. He's a problem on the sideline if he's not getting the ball. He's a problem on the sideline. He's this, he's that. I think if a player come in knowing what they're going to be used for, knowing that how you're probably going to be used, um, the type of quarterback that you're working with, and Dak is a quarterback that if you ain't open, I ain't going to you. If you ain't open, I'm not forcing the ball to you just because you want the ball. I'm going to go who's open. So if he comes in with that attitude, right understanding, and knows, what the deal is, I think he'll be okay. Sometimes it just takes a new environment for players, and he is gonna have to understand and realize that he's wearing a star. Anything he do is going to be put on display. Some things that he probably did in Pittsburgh we didn't get to see or know, but if he's doing it in Dallas, it's gonna be put on notice. So anyway, like I said, welcome George Pickens to the Cowboys. Welcome number 14. I'm here for it. I'm here to see what happens. I'm here with it. I'm happy with this. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. Okay, your turn.
Well, you know me. You see, I put up his stats up there. Um, this kid is catching 6 out of 10 balls thrown to him. This young man is averaging 16.3 yards per catch. So essentially, he's catching a first down every time he catches the ball. Essentially, theoretically, there's some plays he probably caught some balls on third and long that didn't give him the first down, but essentially, as you said, Nikki, this gentleman is giving us a threat to where it is going to open up the field for the whole offense. And then if you throw in, a decent slot receiver, and I think that's that number 3 receiver. I think that's going to be a battle in training camp this year with the additions to, with some of the receivers that we already have on the roster, plus the additions of some of the young, some of the draft picks and some of the undrafted free agents that we got. As you said, we have the potential of being a top 3, close to a top 5 offense. I'm not going to go that far to say top 5 just yet because we don't know what Shot's going to do, on offense. But I think this is probably, I have to 100% agree with you that I have to agree with you 100% that this is, once with what we did in the draft, we drafted for needs and best player available. And then we went out and got a wide receiver that is proven, but on the flip side of that, like you said, everybody's going to say your offense is going to be mid with that QB. Oh, come on, Mo. Let's.
You can hear me now, I guess.
Yeah, we can hear you now. So I'm gonna go ahead and address this real quick. Mo.
Yes, let's please address it.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Let me address it first.
When we had Cooper, Dez, and what's his name? The kid that
Who, Gallup?
Gallup. No, the kid even before that, Williams.
Beasley. Don't forget about Beasley too.
Yeah, for a long time. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let you address it, Nikki. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the stats on it.
Okay, got it. You go ahead and address it first.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny. I think it's funny. I mean, hey, I'll let the fans say whatever, because 60% of the fans like that, 40% of the fans seem like they have something against Dak Prescott, right? Yes, does Dak Prescott have to play better in the playoffs? Yes, he does. But he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't know why we always have these discussions of fans basically always talking about the displeasure of Dak Prescott. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't know. Is it still the Romo aspect of it, or what happened against the 49ers? I really don't understand. We have a top 10 quarterback. Quarterbacks don't grow on trees. And our fans have to understand, you can't just replace a top 10 quarterback with somebody else. I mean, to me, it's just ludicrous how disrespectful some of the fans are to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott actually gets more respect from actually the other fan bases than our own fans. And that's crazy. When you think about it, some of the own other fans, if he went to Pittsburgh right now, the fans be loving him right now. And that's the thing that I really can't understand about our fan base. I mean, shoot, he's one of the most winningest quarterbacks in the NFC East. I tell you that right now. You know, yes, like I said before, he has to play a little bit better in the playoffs. Of course, we understand that. But come on now. Who's this? Oh, they talking about Pickens. I have my own. I'll say the Pickens, but like I said, hey, love him or hate him, Dak Prescott's going to be our quarterback for the next 4 years anyway. So all I ask is that everybody just be patient, right? We got Pickens. We had a B+ draft. You know, we have Shoddy, who's trying to change the culture of the team. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why he put Dak Prescott and Parsons locker right next to each other. So everybody just woosah, take a breather. You know, all the negative fans, go ahead and be negative. You know, hey, I'm optimistic. I'm always been. So they can go ahead. They can go ahead and, you know, hate the man or dislike the man. I don't care. All I'm saying is that just give him some time. And he's going to prove all the doubters wrong this year. I just have this feeling we have a number 1, number 2, and hopefully Mingo will be number 3 wide receiver. And that's all we need. And then the running game. The running game is going to be better than what a lot of people suspect it's going to be. I'm telling you, the running game is going to be better. Mafi's good. I watched Mafi play at Clemson. The blueprint is fast. He's faster than Pollard. And we just need him to be a specialty down back on third down, bring him a second down, and he can actually play in the slot if you need him to. So our offense is going to be a little bit different than it was last year and maybe the year before. All I'm asking fans is just be a little bit more optimistic and stop hating on Dak so much. That's all I'm asking. To be honest with you, if Dak was healthy last year, we would be better than 7-10. I'll tell you that right now. We were 7-10. We had a lot of injuries. Dak was out injured. And we still wound up 7-10. So all I'm asking fans is just be a little bit more optimistic when it comes down to our quarterback and our team. That's all I'm asking. It's too much of a joyous day for the hate, to be honest with you. Too much. Too much. I like George Pickens. I didn't have my say, but I like George Pickens. The only thing I don't like is his complaining on the sidelines. And I heard that, you know, teammates love him, but it's his antics on the field. He kind of reminds me of a little Dez and the T.O. So that's why hopefully Michael Irvin will take him aside and talk to him. Dez will talk to him because this is Dallas. It's different than being in Pittsburgh. Anything you do, you can be held under a microscope. Any little thing, it's going to be on ESPN, it's going to be on Fox, it's going to be everywhere. So he just have to temper his emotions a little bit. Just temper it down. Be more positive when you're in the huddle or talking to your teammates. Lift up the defense. Lift up anybody on the team. That's more positive than being negative. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to him and Mingo getting busy this offseason. I really think Mingo's gonna surprise some people. I know I may be a Mingo lover or whatever, but I think Mingo's gonna surprise some people because Mingo has never had a quarterback like that Prescott. He's never played with an offensive line like this. He's never had the offense around him that he has right now. Watch, Mingo's gonna surprise a lot of people. Hopefully.
So I'm gonna before you go, Nikki, I'm gonna answer that question real quick. Dak was hurt last year, right? Top 10 offenses. I'm just gonna go the last 5 years. I'm not even gonna go to 5 years. I'm gonna go the last 3 years. We wasn't a top 10 offense last year because our quarterback was hurt. 2022, we were the third ranked offense in the NFL. 2021, we was a top ranked offense in the NFL. So how can you say that Dak is not gonna can bring us to a top 10 offense? That's why I love people's opinions. Opinions are perfect. We all have an opinion. But go find the facts. And the facts of it is our quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, whether you like him or not, has led us to number one offenses twice in his career and top five in offenses in multiple times in his career. And then if you just go back and recently, our offense was a top five offense 2 out of the last 3 years. That's all I can say about that. Okay, Nikki.
Nick.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay.
What y'all need? Oh, about the Dak? Come in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm confused on where a lot of these people get their research from, or where they get what they think of Dak from. And he's been in the league 9 years. Granted, Dak have not gotten us to where we want to go, where we want to be, and where we should be. But at the end of the day, there's no way you could sit here and say that Dak is not the quarterback that can get him the ball. Dak was what he's a year removed from MVP runner up. He's a year removed from um having the most touchdowns in the league. So does that sound like a quarterback that can't get? Does that sound like a quarterback can't get players that can't get them the ball? Get them the ball. He produced more than 1,000-yard receiver. How did CD Lamb get paid? Who was throwing CD Lamb the ball for him to get paid? Who was throwing Cooper the ball for him to go for them to be to make it to the the top 5 wide receivers in the league? Like y'all make up shit. They hate Dak so much that they'll sit around, they'll see the facts, they'll see it in their face, and they'll still sit up here and lie, or they'll still sit up here and say, "Well, this man, what type of quarterback this man is not," just because they don't like him. They don't even have a reason to not even like him. Half of them don't even like him. You ain't even a Cowboys fan, so why you don't like him? And at this point, it's not even about a like or a dislike of him. At this point, it's just foolishness. It's just really ridiculous that people sit up here and say these stupid things about this man when you will actually look it up and you can see. I tell people all the time, a lie don't care who tell it, but numbers don't lie. You always say stats, stats, stats. Stats don't lie. That's what they go by when they put you in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Stats, right? Oh, okay.
And I got one more question for you. Hold on, let me get these comments up here. Didn't at one time we had with Dak as our quarterback, didn't we have two 1,000 receivers and almost had a third?
Yeah, yeah,
You're on
we
mute,
did.
yeah. Huh?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Okay.
Gallup, CD, and Amari.
Mm-hmm. So that just tells you that we had a bad, and that was during the time when people said Dak couldn't read defenses. Wasn't that during that time too?
You remember that? He
Yeah,
couldn't read
that's
defenses.
when
He
they
couldn't
said
do anything.
he couldn't read defense. Yeah,
He couldn't
yeah,
And
read.
didn't our tight end that year have like 700-800 yards at the same time?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what it is, though. I
And,
think it's the
and this
frustration
don't
playoff.
get me wrong. This is not this is not the fact that we are trying it's it's not a fact of defending Dak. It's the fact that well this is facts, and all you have to do is just go look it up. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And like I just said,
Oh my
stats don't lie. But at the end of the day, Dak still have not gotten us to where we wanted to be. Neither did Romo get us to where we wanted to be. With all the stats that Romo had. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get us where we wanted to go. So at the end of the day, it's not even so much really about the stats. It's about what you do as a quarterback. It's what you do and to put your team in a position that they need to be to win good games, top games. But at the end of the day, you can't deny what the man did. Just so if you want to compare it to LeBron and MJ, you still can't deny the things that LeBron have done, regardless of what. You can't deny what he did. You can't deny what changes what he have brought to the league, to the NBA league. Everybody know MJ the GOAT. And
Exactly.
everybody know that MJ is the GOAT. Ain't nobody trying to say that Dak is the GOAT. Nobody trying to say that Dak is nothing. What we're saying is that quit lying like this man can't get receivers the ball. Quit lying like this man has not been a top 10 quarterback in this league. He wasn't last year because he only played 6 games. He wasn't in the he was in the year 2017 because we had once again depths of injuries, and that's the year Zeke was out with the false suspension. So no one is saying that he not no one is not saying that Deck should not be where we want him to be or have done what we have needed him to do. But at the end of the day, it takes a team. It takes a team. So let's just say Dak did everything right, everything that we wanted, everything done on the team by a quarterback. That's games, clutch, 4 quarter wins, holding the lead, doing everything. Then defense go in and we need to stop. One stop to win the game, which we haven't needed often. And I could go back to that Miami game. One stop.
Nikki,
That game,
I'll do you one better, Nikki.
that
Let's
game,
see. Let's see.
that
Which one?
game was that game was lost because defense couldn't get one stop. And not only that, prior to that, our special teams missed the field goal. And prior to that, we had a fumble in the red zone. That was the difference in the game. But that drove us down the field to get a 1 point lead and win that game. All we needed was one stop from defense, and they couldn't get it done.
All right,
They,
go back to 2016 against the Packers.
hmm,
Wasn't we down big?
way big. It was
Didn't our
30.
quarterback
It was 30, like 30, almost 30 to nothing.
Hey, that was
didn't our
Hot
quarter,
Rod's fault.
didn't our quarterback put us in the position to win?
That's it. And what wasn't it what we needed?
It was a
One stop.
third and 14, 15 or something like that.
It was third and long. It was
It
like
was
third
third
and
and
20.
long.
It was
Third
like
and
30
20.
Third and
something like
23.
crazy like
It was like
that.
third and 23.
So I guess Dak gave up that long.
We needed one stop, and you know who gave it up?
Byron Jones.
Byron Jones. Byron Jones, he let him tiptoe his toe on the line to stay in bounds.
You're talking about the cap. Oh.
So, but you said unless you're Mahomes, you can't take
But
70.
okay, but then I say I can't take you serious because then he come right here and he say, I don't watch too many Cowboy games. Okay, so if you don't watch too many Cowboy games, I don't think you need to enter this conversation. I don't even think you need to be saying nothing. Then Dak threw a couple of picks that game. No, he didn't, sir.
No,
he didn't, sir.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't even no interceptions in that game, sir.
In the Packers game?
Maybe he's talking about the 49er game.
No, we're talking about the Packers game. He didn't.
The 2016 game he didn't. The last Packer game prior, the year before last year, he did throw 2 interceptions.
Yeah, we're talking about 2016.
We're talking about 2016. No, it wasn't no interceptions in that game. We just got down big in the game, but Dak brought us all the way back to a tied game, and it came down to a field
I knew that
goal.
was coming. I knew that one was coming. That was always coming. I see that a lot on Twitter.
I see.
I mean, what quarterback don't throw interceptions in playoff games? Who is exempt?
No, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about one of the interceptions actually right before the half.
But that wasn't on Dak. That's the one that wasn't on Dak. It was a comeback route. Gallup was supposed to come back.
No, not that one. The one on CD. It was like we were in the red zone right before half.
That was the one that Gallup
coverage.
Right.
He played bracket coverage on Lamb and he threw a pick.
But that wasn't on Lamb. I mean, that was on Gallup, I thought.
No. That was to Lamb. Because that's right before Pollard got hurt. Remember when Pollard got hurt? And we was like, I can't believe Pollard got hurt. And then as soon as Pollard left the game, they put bracket coverage around Lamb because he was the only viable option we had.
You're right. Time. There was a comeback route for Lamb. You're right.
And that was it. And that's probably what he's talking about. Not the comeback to Gallup, which Gallup really gave up on. He's not talking about that one. He's the one right before halftime. I remember that one.
I know was one. Yeah, you're right.
But nobody brings up the fact that Diggs had 2 plays in a row where he could have tackled and blew up Kittles, and then he dropped the interception. Nobody talks about that. Never.
Dropped the interception.
Everything is always back to
that. If Diggs would have caught that, 2 things. Yes, if he would have tackled Kittles on that 3rd and long, we would have got the ball back.
Exactly.
If he would have caught that interception,
that would have ended the game.
It would have ended the game. So we're all everybody here, and here's the thing. People always say we shouldn't talk about ifs, but talk about scenarios.
So why is a Steelers fan even on here, and they can't even get past the first round?
Steelers fans probably here because of
last Pickens. 10 years.
Because of Pickens, that's why they're here. Because Pickens.
And that part too. If Turpin would have kept a clean run, that was touchdown all day long.
He should have stayed outside. Why?
I don't know why he bounced back on the inside.
Like, dude, you too fast. Stay outside.
All he had to do was stay outside.
But everything that everybody is saying is team losses, right?
Yes, sir.
So whether Dak threw an interception, whether Diggs missed a tackle, whether Turpin didn't make run the right, he instead of taking a touchdown, he ran back into the coverage. All those are team losses. And you're right, Wayne, 2 playoff wins. The Cowboys have 2 playoff wins under Dak's, under Dak's quarterback.
Whatever you want to call it. So does Tony.
It wasn't that Dak lost the game. Dak may have contributed to the loss of a game, if we want to be realistic, but he didn't lose the game. I mean, I'm going. Let's just use. And I hate to do this to you, Kenyatta, but let's just talk about the Pacers game last night against Cleveland.
I fell asleep.
Cleveland had a 20-point lead.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
While they had a 20-point lead, they kept playing Mitchell instead of letting him sit down and rest. He got gassed. Couldn't score at the end of the game. Yes, they were hurting and so forth and so on. You know, they had 3 of their players hurt. I get all that. But Mitchell, even when he had 40-plus points, Mitchell didn't lose the game because Mitchell didn't miss every 3-point shot that they shot. He didn't – that rebound, Mitchell wasn't the one that was responsible for getting rebounds, that last rebounds that Halliburton missed, and you got 2 bigs on the inside. The loss isn't on Mitchell. It didn't say the Indiana Pacers beat Mitchell. It said the Indiana Pacers beat Cleveland. So I wish people would stop putting the blame on one person. If I put a blame on any one person, I blame Jerry for all the shit that we went through over these last 25 years. From the point where we had to implement the salary cap all the way up to making some of these dumb moves that we've made over the last couple of years. These Dollar Tree moves that we've made. So if I want to blame one person, I will blame it on Jerry. So that's my take on it. Let's see here. He said he's more of a Lions fan. Tomlin is the reason why for not getting past the first round. Just trying to love some love to a small champ. Well, the thing of it is we appreciate your
he done had 3 teams since he been on here. Just that fast. He ain't had 3 teams. But Tomlin is the reason for not getting past first round. Tomlin. So here go the double standard. They could blame Tomlin for not getting past the first round in Pittsburgh. But Dak is to blame for everything in Dallas. So here go the double standard. Tomlin ain't playing on the field. Same thing y'all would tell they gonna say about Dallas. Well, the coaches ain't the one on the field playing. Jerry ain't the one on the field catching the ball. Jerry ain't the one on the field throwing the ball. Steven ain't on the field playing. It's the players playing. It's Dak and Zeke on the field playing. It's the players playing. But he gonna sit there, but he gonna say Tomlin is the reason. Tomlin ain't on the field playing. He ain't catching the ball. He ain't passing the ball. He ain't kicking the ball.
Tomlin did get on the field once.
He tripped somebody on a kickoff return. He did.
Why the double standard?
You know what though? We should say the same thing about Big Mike and his unforced basically errors and his time management though. He had bad time management though, so it is.
Well, we still blame that on Jerry.
We still blame the team. We still said it should never come down to anything like that as a team. We still blame them. We still said they did not show up when they were supposed to show up. They didn't do what they were supposed to do on the field to end the game. They didn't take control of the game. Dak didn't put the team on his back. Zeke shouldn't have fumbled the ball. Parsons should have made that one stop. D. Lord got off his block late. We always give everybody who they supposed to get. But we the only team that can't do that. We're the only team that can't say it's somebody else's fault. We're the only team that can't do that.
Blame that on ESPN. Blame that on ESPN every day with the same rhetoric during football season. Blame that on ESPN. That's all I have to say about that. That's where it comes from mostly. That negativity and then certain other fan bases and our fans, they feed into it. They really feed into it without looking at the basis of everything, looking at the reality of it. And that's the sad part of it. And like I said, the only thing that can cure that is winning. So we just have to go out and win. You just got to go out and win. That's all.
And the thing of it is I think that we've talked about this multiple times on. Let's see here who. He likes Philadelphia.
He like the Sheagles. He
Likes Philadelphia. He's one of our Wayne is one of our most liked, hated.
He's the one. If I had control of the pound, he would be gone.
Lord, nah. Hey, the rhetoric is good though. We need more.
I like Wayne.
Yeah,
because cool. I like Wayne because he shows up.
No, he don't. Wayne only show up when they win. He don't. He only show up when they win.
No, 2 years ago he didn't show up.
Anytime Philly lost, Wayne did not show up. We did not hear from him we did not hear from him.
No, Russell Jerry will never move out of his way.
Nah, Jerry never.
He like Al Davis. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, Jerry would probably be in his casket and have a wheel.
And still trying to
talk. Trying to tell somebody what to do.
Nah,
although he did publicly say that when something happens to him, it's already written in stone that if Will McClay is still working with the team, he will be the GM.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Eagles. The Eagles are coming out the woodwork today, boy.
That's okay. They could come on.
Goddamn, Saquon.
We ain't mad. I ain't mad at them. I'm not mad. I ain't mad at. I'm not mad at them.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Wayne, and Kenyatta. I want the Knicks to beat Boston.
I do too.
Me too.
Because I want to see the Pacers and Knicks play again. I thought that was a good series last year.
This time we won't have any injuries this time.
Well, okay.
Got something for Halliburton. Come to the Garden with that T-shirt on again. We got something for you.
Well, Dak has had, Dak has had close to those statuses, that statistics, and like 4 or 5 touchdowns, and we lost, and they blamed him. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, okay, we know. So this must be your first time coming on, to watch. Lester. This has got to be the first time that. So
your bitch ass team.
Yeah, one thing that we don't do on this show is we don't overhype our show. And the last thing that we talk about on this show is winning the Super Bowl.
No, never that.
I've never heard neither one of us say that we are a Super Bowl contending team or that we're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that. So you can say that for those other Cowboy fans, But coming on here, you're gonna catch a real. If our team F's up, we're gonna say that they F'd up.
What team does Mo like? What team does Mo like? Mo,
it's gotta be an Eagles fan.
We know
up there, Mo.
We know it's been 29 years for us.
He could be a 49er fan. Who knows?
We know it's been 29 years for us, but at the end of the day, we're not the only team that has been 29 plus years for. But it's so fun and fascinating to me that y'all only focused on the Cowboys losing.
We don't. Trust me, bro. None of us need a hug.
He ain't never said what team he was.
What's your team, Mo? Come on, Mo.
29 years. 29, and if it's Eagles, baby, 29 years, and they still chasing us.
It better not be no Jets.
As the
better
song,
not be the Giants.
As my favorite song say, baby, running in and out
of
my life.
Hold on.
I don't like a Vikings fan. Dak ain't never lost to the Vikings.
That's not right. He's not a purple people eater. You are not a purple people eater, are you? You cannot be a purple people eater. No.
He just made my night. He just made my night. This fool on here mad as hell.
He
Talk
playing.
about- he is a
He
Viking
playing.
fan.
Mo playing. I know he's playing. He's playing.
Oh, okay,
playing.
Mr.
Ain't
Eagles
no
fan.
way. Ain't no way
we'll
he coming
talk
up
to
here
you
with all
later.
that smoke. Ain't no way he coming up here with all that smoke talking about the
I
Vikings.
know he ain't
No
on here
way.
with that. And he a Viking fan. We not even paying attention to that comment. We know what we have been and haven't done. We don't need nobody to tell us that. We know what it is. We know what it is. Just like y'all still roll with y'all team for 50 years, 60 years. We gonna ride with ours for 29.
You could at least say Green Bay, bro.
He could have lied. He could have just lied. He could have just said Kansas City. He could have just told a lie and lied.
So I gotta ask a question. When's the last time the Vikings been to the Super Bowl?
Shit, and when the last time the Vikings beat the
Fran
Cowboys?
Tarkenton?
Oh man.
When the last time they beat the Cowboys?
Oh
Because
man.
they ain't beat Dak or our backups.
He must got us confused with the Timberwolves. That's what it is.
The only parade they had in Minnesota was when Prince died.
Ouch. I love Prince. That's what it is.
I love Prince
I
too.
love Prince.
Oh,
But
I love Prince too. He's in
when
my top
I
3.
love Prince too, but it's the
Yeah.
truth. The only time they had a parade in Minnesota is when Prince died, baby. That's when the Dubs cried.
Mo, tell the truth. What team you really root for? Stop playing. Come on, Mo.
I know
Tell the
he
truth.
lie. I know he on here talking like his team is a big team. I know he lie. Baby, don't disrespect our player's name by spelling their name wrong. It's E.M. That ain't Emmitt. We don't know who that Emmitt Smith is.
Dang.
Don't disrespect our. We understand y'all don't go often nowhere, so
Well,
y'all
who's
know how to.
pimping them out though?
So
Wayne, who's
don't
pimping them
play.
out? We're not
No,
pimping them
he's
out.
talking about the comment that was up there earlier about somebody made about let's see here.
I can't even get back on track with that fool over there talking about he a Vikings fan.
I gotta go find that comment. I can't find it. Oh well.
I think he playing.
Don't disrespect my player. Say his name. Spell his name right.
Well, Mo, my dad was a Steelers fan. My brother's a Steelers fan. My sister's a Steelers fan, and I became a Cowboys fan.
And my daddy is a Steeler fan. My uncle is still a fan. But my grandfather was a Cowboy fan, so I chose the right team. And my auntie that just passed away Friday was a diehard Cowboy fan.
I got them all in my family. I got them all. So I got them all. Redskins, Giants,
Yeah, I got them all
Eagles,
too.
Steelers. I got them all.
Funky ass Saints, all of them.
So and for those Eagle fans on here not named Wayne Charles, one of our co-hosts is an Eagles fan, and he's actually one of our very good friends.
Jazzy Jeff.
So, yeah, so this show is not about hating the Eagles and
Nope.
Eagles fan hating the Cowboys. This is a show where, I give y'all respect. We are all jealous, and I'll speak for everybody on this panel. We're all jealous of Howie. He is probably definitely in the last decade the best GM in the NFL.
Yeah, he did his thing.
Yeah, we'll give y'all that. I will give y'all in the last 10 years. He's probably been the best GM in the NFL.
He did his thing. He have in the last 10 years. He have, and they got 2 rings.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
second
lost the
time
Super
around
Bowl.
too.
Yeah, and lost the
Time
Super
around.
Bowl.
And lost one. So yeah.
Oh no, we're definitely not Browns fans.
No.
No, I'm not even close to a Browns fan. I don't give a damn about Shadua being over there. Wish him the best of luck, wish him well. But I will never be in a Browns jersey, and I will never ever own one.
Oh no.
Mo funny with that one. The Vikings. He came with the smoke. I thought he was gonna say.
I thought he was going to say
49ers.
Kansas City. I thought he was going to say Kansas City.
Wow. That was some good smoke.
No, I'm not. Wayne, I'm not gonna say the Eagles are the class of the league. I'm definitely not gonna say that.
Y'all know they definitely not the class of
We're
the.
gonna say Saquon is. We're not gonna say the Eagles. We're gonna say
No,
Saquon and then the Eagles. The Eagles are the backup dancers to Saquon Barkley. How you like that?
Well, Nate Trap, your GM had to get those players for your coaches to coach them. I mean, you got Brown. You got two number one wide receivers. You got if he's healthy, you have an all pro or you have an all pro tight end. You've had a great offensive line, and you retooled that offensive line even with retirements and people leaving out. And your drafting of the defensive line, you have a great defensive line. That's drafting. That's not coaching. That's drafting. You're able to rush four and put pressure on quarterback, which makes your defense just a little bit better than what they really are, and that's because of your defensive line. So you got to give Howie a lot of respect, a whole bunch of respect.
Exactly. He got a bunch of Bama and Georgia players on his defense.
Because wasn't y'all about to run your coach out of town when y'all had a 10-1 record and then lost the division to us? Am I correct on saying that?
Yeah, Saquon saved their year last year. Saquon Barkley. That's why I can't stand the Giants right now. Saquon Barkley saved the Eagles. I still got to play the game.
Let's see. Say hell no, the Eagles be the class.
No, they got a jail in their stadium, I think, still. What are we talking about?
Kansas City got more Super Bowls recently than the Eagles. How the hell the Eagles are class of the league? Defensive line is part of the defense. I always thought, the defensive line is a part of the defense. But at the beginning of the season, your DBs were getting torched because y'all wasn't putting no pressure on the quarterbacks. Once that defensive line started putting pressure on the quarterbacks, that made your defense a lot better. And that's how I looked at it. No, I don't want nobody. We don't want nobody to die. We just want Jerry to get on his yacht and leave.
No, we want him to have a peaceful leaving. Nothing like that.
They don't have a jail in the state yet.
You sure you don't have one in the new stadium? Down all the way in the gutter? All the way in the basement?
Yeah. Wayne, we'll give y'all last year. Y'all beat us. At the beginning of the season, and you can go back and look up our shows, not one of us said that we was going to win the division. Not one of us said that the Eagles weren't a better team than us, because we knew at the beginning of the season that our roster was horrible. Our roster was horrible.
And all the injuries that we had, and you sit up here bragging. Okay.
And we said we was gonna go 10-7, but then when Dak went down, we ended up going 8-9. So let's see here. It said Cowboy fan here living in Philly. I know all Philly sports well. The hockey team is the only sports team in Philly that's been a dynasty. The Eagles are a team that got lucky beating injured teams. Let's see. Okay.
Kansas City didn't have no O-line either. That was bad. Kansas City didn't have no O-line. If they had an O-line, they probably would have beat Philly. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, their O-line was terrible.
Trash.
And then too, I'ma still always stand by that, is that Kansas City, once they got to the Super Bowl and once Philly took a big lead on them, it was hard for the Reds to help them. Period. It was hard for the Reds to help them. I think if that game would have came down to a field goal or so, I think the Reds would have did something to make them help the Chiefs win, because they wanted a three-peat. They did. You know what I'm saying? They wanted it, but Eagles came out so forceful and so strong and stayed on it that it wasn't no way they can force it. So
I can, but I can definitely ask this question though. Where was Kansas City's O-line ranked at last season?
Shit.
Probably
5 to 30.
It was probably in the 20s.
Let me see.
It's probably in the 20s.
I'll look it up real quick.
Kansas City.
Hey Wayne, on the side note, you know Dak Prescott is 9-4 versus the Eagles' lifetime. So keep yapping, keep yapping. 9-4. Just wait. We're gonna have something for you.
Uh, Eagles- they said they was ranked fifth.
Well, they got their tail whooped in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they said Kansas City Chiefs offensive line was ranked fifth in 2024. Chiefs offensive line within the top five in the league.
Oh,
That's why that guard was playing tackle. They had some injuries too going into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had injuries
yeah, look
going
at they had
into it
injuries.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
So
injuries, but yeah, they were ranked. They were ranked fifth going into the Super Bowl. No,
I
but
can't believe it.
um, same teams can't win forever. Things change. Sometimes it's called a tide. The tide of change. Um, you know, Kansas City had been the team to beat for the last what 5 years, going into the Super Bowl. So um, it happens. You know, I ain't mad. I mean, yeah, I'm mad because of how what happened with us or whatever. But um, this year will be a different season. It'll be a different season. And I think, you know, the main thing that we have to focus on, our team have to focus on, that we have to understand that Dak is not a young quarterback no more. So we have to do everything we can to protect him and keep him healthy and keep him upright. Anytime you take a chance of your quarterback going down, getting, popped on that line, getting hit on that line, you take a risk of your quarterback getting hurt. I do like the fact that we did go out and pick up another more reliable, I think is a better quarterback. I'm not saying a better quarterback for his playing because we haven't seen him play a lot. But just with his arm talent, his arm strength, and just what I think he can be, what he could have been and can be in the league. I honestly think the Patriots gave up on him fast, too soon. I do honestly think they did. So I'm hoping that, of course, I want that to have a good season and play the full season. But I am looking forward to seeing Milton in preseason. I am looking forward to see how he can mesh and gel with this team.
See, Joe Milton is physically gifted. He can
Hmm.
throw. He
and
can
it
run.
had
He
And
Kansas
just need
City
more
ranked
uh-huh.
playing
12.
time.
Yeah, he can run. Yeah. So
He's like a more mature Trey Lance, to be honest with you. If you
therefore,
look at
yeah.
his game, he's like a more mature Trey Lance. And that's what we wanted Trey Lance to be, just like Joe Milton. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way.
All right, so we want to talk football because this show is not always about defending our team or defending the stats that we talk
No.
about. Um, so I definitely want to talk about the negative side of this trade, this this Pickett trade.
Hmm.
We got him essentially right now. He's on a 1 year rental, and we're definitely going to talk about Milton too, Kelly. So essentially, we have him on a 1 year rental. Um, because what I'm hearing is reports is they want him to play this year out before they offer him some money.
Right.
So who in this locker room is going to help control his attitude?
Um. For me, it's gonna have to be someone coming from the offensive side because that's the side he's playing on. Offense. I feel like offense will have to be the one to see to offense is gonna have to be the one to let him know, keep him in chain, keep him in line. I would probably put that on Dak because he's the leader of the team. He's the leader, he's supposed to be the leader of the team. He's the one that's gonna be getting the balls from him. He's the one that's gonna be, you know, making sure he's lined up where he needs to be for him to get the ball. So I would think your quarterback will be the one to um put him in line, but it would help if CD Lamb and some of the other guys that's being here, it would help if they file in line and do it as well.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
a different approach. I want him to talk to Michael Irvin, and I want him to talk to Des Bryant. Because to be honest with you, his blowups on the sidelines, his basically being concerned about his stats, that to me is screaming, I'm immature and I need a mentor. So the best mentor, if you ask me, would be off the field right now would be Michael Irvin and Des Bryant because they're beloved Cowboys. They're they're wide receivers and they actually play with a lot of emotion. Because right now the Dallas Cowboys don't have a player that fits that description on the team right now. So that's why I would take a different approach and have someone like Michael Irvin or Des Bryant talk to him and tell him, listen, this is Dallas. Everything shines brighter in Dallas than it does Pittsburgh. So you have to control your emotions. If you want to actually go out here and root for your teammates, so be it. But don't sit here and pout. Don't sit here and argue with the coaches because you're not getting the ball enough. So that's why he needs a mentor. And that's why I'm taking it outside because there's nobody on the team right now that's fiery like that. That has that aggression, that has that passion. So that's why I would take a different approach and have either Michael Irvin, because Michael will love to talk, and Des Bryant, because they play the same way. I mean, I love Pickens, but it's his emotions that I'm concerned with.
that's the point. That's the only drawback I had from him was his sideline tactics and how he acts on the sideline and stuff like that. But again, as I said earlier, sometimes we don't know the backstory of these things, or we don't know what's happening behind the scenes in the locker room, team meetings. We don't know a lot of these things. I think Dez it will be is a good mentor for him to talk to. But from what I was told on this whole situation was that Marty kind of, as we recall, this was a conversation during the draft, and this was a thought during the draft that this was going to happen. Um, from my understanding, Marty had a conversation with him and his agent, and basically told him what they expect and what they don't expect, what they don't like, what they won't tolerate, and what he won't have on his team. So as of right now, they're looking at him as a low risk, high reward because he's on a 1 year deal. So he's being considered as a 1 year um, rental. Um, and I think at the end of the day, Dez can talk to him, Michael Irving can talk to him, but you have to have someone from that locker room that you're actually playing with on the field with, seeing on a daily basis with, that can come to you, talk to you, and tell you what what's expected and what's right and what's wrong and what they not gonna do and won't have. Dak is not an argumentative quarterback. So if he start those tactics and all that stuff online, Dak gonna walk away. It's like as we saw that when see him and CD with CD Lamb and him, Dak is gonna walk away. And from what they were saying is that Dak is not a check you on camera person. He's a person that checks you behind the scene. But yes, it would be great for Dez to be a mentor for him. I would even say Drew Pearson. I would even say Drew Pearson would be a great mentor for him. But it still is gonna need to come from someone in that locker room. It's gonna have to have, I don't even want to say that word, but gonna have to have the balls and the nuts to stand up to him and tell him that he doing wrong. Or what they not gonna accept. Simple as that. That's just no other way to put it.
There is one person, but he's a rookie. Tyler
Okay.
Booker could do it. Tyler Booker used to do it at Bama.
Yeah.
Tyler Booker told the whole team, listen, whoever is a senior or junior getting ready to go on the draft, you are not sitting out this bowl game. And if you do, you got to come through me. So Tyler Booker, even though he's a rookie, but he is a Cowboy. Sometimes it shouldn't be that, okay, you're a veteran or whatever. If you have leadership qualities, you have leadership qualities.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So you lead. No matter if you're a rookie, 10-year vet, 5-year vet, if you have leadership qualities, you lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tyler Booker, because he's an offensive lineman, he might get in his face and tell him, yo, we can't do that. This is the Cowboys. You never know. Because he's the only one that I see on that team that will light a fuse under you and tell you, yo, he's like a bouncer. You got to come through me.
Right.
I think Tyler Booker could do that as a rookie. And Wayne, Jason Kelsey used to mentor A.J. Brown.
All the time.
I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. Talking about outside influences.
And it's not about being a babysitter. It's nobody's being a babysitter. It's just about keeping them in line. It's about letting them know what's right and what's wrong, and not letting them get away with stuff that shouldn't be happening. It's not about being a babysitter at all. Every team have players that they need to have a mentor.
Exactly.
And every team have a player that they need to make sure that they can talk to, and they can check and they can put in check or whatever. So it's never about being a babysitter. I mean, AJ Brown acted a damn fool for a whole damn season. He was finna act a fool in the Super Bowl until he got that touchdown. He was acting a fool in the Super Bowl with Jalen. That's why Jalen didn't go to his engagement party. Probably wasn't even invited. Probably didn't even invite Jalen.
Don't forget, his mentor was the book. He was reading a book on the sideline. I've never seen that before ever in my life. Scriptures, yes. A book? No. So what we doing right now? I've never seen that. You never see that.
Right? Who was reading the book?
A.J. Brown.
AJ Brown.
Oh, he sure
on
was.
the sideline.
Because he wasn't getting he wasn't getting the ball.
Because he wasn't getting the ball. He was acting a plumb fool. He was acting a real clown. He was acting a fool.
Yeah, that book was his mentor. What we doing here? Come on, Wayne. Stop acting like the Philadelphia.
But you gotta have somebody, like Krista said, you gotta have somebody with maturity. And sometimes the younger guys are more mature than the older guys. Sometimes they are. You know, the way Tyler Booker, the excitement that Tyler Booker had when we called his name, lets me know that young man. It ain't even about him playing for the Cowboys. It's about the fact that young man was just so grateful to have another chance to still be playing football. I think he would have did that run down the hall for him, like he did with any team that called his name. But the fact that it was the Dallas Cowboys and he wanted to come to that, play for Dallas, that just did more for him.
Yeah, he was like that at Bama too. Roll Tide. He was like that at Bama.
He a good kid. He a good kid. And I seen him play a lot because he played played LSU or whatever. Played LSU. But everybody gotta have a mentor. Even me. I had mentors before I got to get me to where I'm at now. Because if I don't think I think if I didn't have Sean at sometimes talking to me, a few other people at sometimes talking to me, y'all probably wouldn't never met me because I wouldn't even still be on Facebook. They would have banned me for life.
You would have been in Facebook jail forever.
I wouldn't have a page.
Hey, Nikki. How many times did I call or text you and say, hey?
Take that post down. And I'm like, nope, nope, I ain't taking it down. But so I'm just saying everybody needs a mentor, no matter what part of life you at, no matter what you're doing in your life. A mentor it's not about it's not about babysitting. It's just about making sure that person is staying in line and doing things properly and not crashing out.
And Russell, I will 100% give you this. I admire Tomlin. I think that he is the ultimate player's coach. But I also believe that he's that guy that don't take no shit from the players either. I've heard, when they had the microphones on the sidelines, I can't remember who it was, but there was, I want to say it was a defensive lineman that got into it with somebody and got a 15-yard penalty. And Tomlin said, "Hey, this is bigger than you." And the guy was walking away and he's like, "Hey, no, listen, look at me." I like how he coaches a team. Now you got to look at it. The Steelers have been searching for a quarterback since Roethlisberger left. They haven't built that defense that they usually have over the last few years. So you can't put that all on Tomlin. There's some things you could probably put on him. Maybe that carousel of coaching that they had last year. But you can't put all the losses that the Steelers had on him because he can only work with what he got.
It's not only that. Don't forget how many diva wide receivers does basically the Steelers had and they let go. How many divas though? They had a lot. Yeah. I count at least 4. All the wide receivers are good, and then all of a sudden they just flip. I guess Tomlinson was doing a great job, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what, enough's enough. I can't keep babysitting. That's what happens. Oh,
the next LT is on the Giants. He wanted LT's number, and they told him no. So
Wayne wants Parsons on the Philadelphia Eagles so bad. Yes, he does. He wants it so bad.
Yeah, those players didn't do too well.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Dante Johnson was a good too, and then all of a sudden he just started changing up on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? I'm like, what's going on in Pittsburgh with all that wide receivers? They draft good wide receivers, and all of a sudden after a couple good years they turn diva. Really bad divas.
But do we think do we honestly want to have the conversation of saying, even though it's not even our team, not even our business, but do we want to honestly have a conversation and say that maybe it's time for Mike Tomlin to move on too?
So here's my thought about that, Nikki. I feel like that you could put, just as disrespectful to Dak as a lot of Cowboy fans are, there are a lot of Steelers fans that are just that disrespectful to Tomlin. I think a lot of teams would love to have. Hell, I would love Tomlin to come coach the Cowboys.
We all did. Remember that? He was like, yeah, maybe Tomlin could come here. We wanted that. Remember?
Just like at one point, I remember when Tomlin said that he when, especially when we played the Steelers this past season, he gave Dak Prescott more respect than probably 75% of our own fans do. Hell, I was listening to NFL Network today. Today coming home, and they were talking about the pick, the trade today. And those guys, who are analysis, these are guys who actually call NFL games, said that this trade would peak him being with a top 10 quarterback, possibly top 5 quarterback in the league, and they were referring to Dak, was going to be good for that young man. Yet we turn around and hear so many people talk bad about our quarterback. So that's the same thing I say about Tomlin. He's been dealt with a bad team lately, but he's never had a losing record. Never. So how can people, turn on Tomlin?
I think he needs a fresh start. Just like Andy Reid was burnt out in Philadelphia, Mike Tomlin needs a new start out of Pittsburgh to rejuvenate his batteries. He's been there so long that sometimes it's like, I need to rejuvenate my batteries, and, maybe he needs to just have a fresh start, take a year off, and then look for another head coaching job somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like us. We talk about Big Mike. A team that goes 12-5 3 years in a row, but he can't get them past the first round of the playoffs. because of time management. And I got so sick and tired of when we lost games, how the defensive players would say, hell, we knew what they was going to do. We knew the route combinations. Hell, we knew what they was going to do. How many times in the chat did we know that we was going to run this certain play? Or we was going to run this route concept?
And that was
how
bad.
many times did we cuss the team out in the chats during the game on why we – hell, Nikki, how many times was you at the game and you was texting us, cussing us out? I mean, not cussing us out, but cussing at us about what you were seeing at the game.
Plenty.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all really think that Jerry set Mike up for failure last year? Because if you look at the offseason this year compared to last year, it's like night and day. Did he really want Mike to succeed last year?
Well, we talked about that on the show, though. We said that he was going to set him up to fail. We said that he set him up to fail.
This year, this offseason that we're having right now is totally different than any offseason.
This is the offseason of the 90s.
This was a good offseason for us.
Offseason of the 90s.
Can we talk to Russell about this Tomlin situation? Tomlin, you were saying that he had some great pieces around him. Wasn't your defensive backs horrible this year? The Steelers.
I think maybe one corner was bad, but usually they have good safeties.
They usually do, but what were they like this year?
I think they wasn't that bad. I don't think they were that bad. I think it was more the offense.
Oh, we know the offense was, except for that little stretch that Russell had.
Because they were always strong at the safety positions and the linebackers. They had one good cornerback. I can't remember his name. Porter. Porter was good cornerback for them. And then they went and traded for one. Just the Steelers just look uneven. The offense and the defense just look uneven this year when I was watching them play a lot. I don't know. I wouldn't say great pieces around them though. Not this year or last year. I won't say they had great pieces.
I don't. The Steelers defenses that when I think of Steelers defenses, I think of them winning games 13-10, 17-14. Those are the defenses that I'm used to Mike Tomlin having. Whether the offense, and I look at that at that whole division, really, even as bad as Cleveland has been sometimes, they've had some pretty good defenses. Now, Cincinnati, they've notorious for having horrible defenses, but still, I've always recognized the AFC North with the Steelers, the Ravens, and sometimes the Browns as having decent defenses. That's why they call it the Black and Blue division, right? Let's see here. Jackson's not bad. Elliott, too bad. Peyton Wilson, Queen, Hayward, All-Pro, future Hall of Famer, Watt, Highsmith. I mean, yeah, but wasn't Watt hurt a little bit? Wasn't Watt hurt sometime towards the end of the season?
They got a good safety too. I can't remember his name. Oh man, I can't remember that boy. He went to Alabama. He's from Jersey. I can't remember his name, and he's a really good free safety. Oh my God, I can't remember his name.
Minka
Patrick.
Yeah.
Minka Fitzpatrick. He's really good.
Like I said, yeah, I remember him. I was more so talking about the corners. I know at least, like you said, I know at least one of them was getting ate up.
Both of them this season.
I don't know. I think Tomlin may need a new start to rejuvenate his batteries. That's what I think. You get burnt out as a coach. Andy Reid went through the same thing. You get burnt out sometimes. It's just time to leave.
Yeah,
Time to
and
move on.
regardless of what the Eagles have done, I thought that was a very dumb move to get rid of, to get rid of Reed, let Andy go.
I like Andy Reid.
He is the ultimate players coach.
Hopefully, Shotty can turn into our Andy Reid. That's what I'm hoping. As long as Jerry get out the way. Press conferences, let Shotty talk, get out the way. I'm saying, get out the way, let Shotty talk. Get out the way, please.
Yeah. So with that being said, I say, okay, here. What are some of your sleepers on the Cowboys? As a fan of their team, it's good to hear different perspectives. I think that our running game is going to be better than what people are going to give us credit for.
I told you how I feel about Mingo. I'm telling you, Mingo, this is going to actually, put a fire under Mingo. Mingo hasn't played on a team like this ever. Mingo's my sleeper.
So where we gonna play him at?
He can play in the slot. He can play on the outside. He can be our third receiver. He's gonna overtake Tolbert. I mean, he's physically gifted. He's 6'2", 220. He running 40 and 4.4. And last year he was getting open a lot, but we had Wet Noodle as quarterback, so Wet Noodle couldn't give him the ball.
Wet Noodle's in Baltimore now, so
Yep, they better hope Lamar stays upright.
We want. Hey, I'm just glad he's not here because I don't have to hear.
Oh, I'm glad he ain't. I'm glad he gone. I don't have to argue with nobody. We don't have to argue. But now the argument is, Joe Milton gonna take Dak's job, whatever. So now that's what the argument is. Or he gonna play. Dak gonna get hurt by this game 6, and Milton gonna take over. Da 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 da. Da. I'm regardless of if whatever happens, Dak's still here for 2 more years. Still here for 2 years.
Also, too, Mr. Bell, Marquise Bell, number 14. He's gonna have to change the number now, but
Yeah, my boo got to change his number.
I think he's gonna be the strong safety, not Wilson, because he's prototype strong safety. He's prototype.
Well, I'm ready to get younger at safety.
That too.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm 100% ready. I mean, I appreciate those guys like 2 or 3 years ago, but it's time now. We got to get younger at safety.
Faster, especially in the back end with Hooker. Hooker's always 2 steps too slow. Always. His reaction time is slower now.
So what type of defense does our new defensive coordinator run? He was in Chicago. I know they used to run a 4-3. Did they run a 4-3 Tampa?
It's gonna be a mixture. But because we have Micah too, Micah's gonna be the chess piece, he said.
Well, we're stacked on defensive ends now.
Defensive end, I'm not worried about. It's the one technique. We still need another one, but there's no one techniques on the open market worth signing. That's another thing. Do we trade for one?
Well, the kid from
UCLA? Yeah, but he's a rookie though. Usually rookies, one techniques, they average at best. So I don't know. We might have to go out and get one. Not unless Mozzie turns into a superstar.
Well, Russell, I don't think we really know what our defense is going to be about. It looks like we're going to get away from that 4-2-5 and play more of a 4-3 with faster linebackers.
Thank God.
Yeah. So I think with our defense, like we were just talking about, it's our defensive tackles. If they can't move the line of scrimmage, I think we'll be okay at corner. I mean, at the cornerbacks, I think we'll be okay. And I'm talking about that's without Diggs being in that equation right now. I'm concerned about the D tackles and safety. That's really where I'm concerned at.
Yeah, we need we need that one tech. We need a run stopper. I like the kid from UCLA. I'm hopefully Mozzie will mature and do what he's supposed to do. I know a lot of fans are down on Mozzie. They like cut him or trade him, but no, you cannot cut Mozzie. We don't have too many backups at one technique, so you can't get rid of Mozzie. I think this year Mozzie's gonna surprise some people. I'm excited to see what he does. I am. Overshown, I can't wait for Overshown to come back. And hopefully Diggs takes his rehab seriously this year.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
Diggs did have a setback and overshowing. Um, he's hurt. He's probably not going to come back till like the last third of the season. I'm hearing. And ain't what you're hearing, Nikki?
Yeah, he won't be back until shit, yeah, last third, yeah, by ending. Diggs, he's gonna start the season on the pup list. Um, so I hope, as Keyshawn just said, I hope he did take his rehab serious this time. It just baffles me that he would not have done that last season. And for as Mozzie, I wouldn't so much say that everyone is down on Mozzie. I just think that I just think that Mozzie is lazy, and I just feel like he didn't let um he didn't have anyone behind him to push him to make him become better and play better. But now with this past draft and with some of the free agents that we've added, he's gonna have to do his job. He's gonna have to show up. And Boston lost again.
Let's go Knicks. You know what's bad about Mozzie though? When you are drafted and then your coach tells you to lose, what was it,
Thir-
20 to
30,
25
30
pounds?
pounds. 30 pounds.
How can you do that? How can you,
But who
as
you
a one
but
technique?
that was on Dan Quinn.
I know that was asinine. After 10, after 20, how could you actually draft a rookie to be a one technique? Then you ask him to lose so much weight. That's got to mess with your psyche. It's got to mess with your strength. So that's why this year, hopefully, Mozzie can come in and be really productive because we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him because the only person behind him and the rookie is Carl Davis. That's
Mhm.
basically it. Because is a three technique.
Mhm.
So we're gonna need Mozzie. Everybody talking
Mhm.
about, oh, get rid of Mozzie, get this and that. I'm like, nah, we need Mozzie. We need Mozzie. And that's why I'm glad that Booker's here too, because
But I need
Booker,
Mazda to do his job. Like we can need. They need to know we need them. They need to know that we need them.
but see, this is why I like Booker, because Booker is really competitive. Booker practices and plays the same way. So if Booker's a rookie, he going in trying to tear up our defensive tackles. That's got to make them better. That's what I like. That's what I'm telling you. He's going to be the next captain of the Dallas Cowboys. I like Booker. So with him being a fierce competitor, maybe this is going to make basically Mozzie a little bit better. That's all I'm hoping. I'm hoping that our guards and our centers can make our defensive line better by being competitive in practice. And that's what I'm hoping too. And Shoddy and the new coaching staff, they come in with a new energy. So that's why I'm pushing Mozzie and said, Mozzie, let's go. He was a number one pick for a reason. Let's go.
It just be like that girl still in the picture. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're gonna need Mozzie.
I'm gonna see.
Because
I got some glasses for this season. I'm gonna see
you got glasses. Because you figure one technique, he makes it clean for the linebackers to move sideways
if he
and
doing
stop
his
the run.
job,
Yeah.
right? If he doing his job and if he's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, I just felt like that was very that Jerry should have known when Dan Quinn said that he made Mozzie lose that type of weight. He should have known that Dan Quinn was trying to sabotage the team. Yes, Russell, I'm a Mavs fan.
No, Russell, I am a. Hold on, I got you.
You are supposed to come in here on that part.
I got you. I got you, Russell.
Oh Lord,
Oh Lord, he a Pacers fan. Yeah.
he repping the pace.
Hey, is the Pacers up 2-0?
Yep,
Yeah,
just like the Knicks up
Oh,
2
okay.
0.
Okay. And the Knicks up 2-0, right?
Yes, indeedy.
yeah, that was
Ooh, give me that rematch, please.
So let's yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room that people don't want to talk about or discuss. Let's talk about the Shador Sanders scandal in the NFL.
Mm.
Oh, you talking about the collusion?
Whatever y'all want to call it, collusion scandal, um, whatever, whatever.
Mm.
What are what are your what are your exact thoughts on him sliding all the way to 5? Was it to gain viewers because they know that most the draft is it is not watched past the third round? But this year they went over the over top. This was the most watched draft after the third round ever. So was it to get the viewers into the draft? Was it was it collusion? Was it was it that? What really was it that some teams had him on their board and then they seen some things and didn't like some things or didn't feel like some things was? But remember 2 weeks before the draft I posted and I said Jason Dwight was gonna go before Shador Sanders.
I still don't understand how that happened, but
I said it. I told y'all Jason Dwight is gonna go before Shador Sanders. Now I didn't expect him to go that far down, but I knew Jason Dwight was going before him. But I didn't. I knew it was some bullshit when Tyler Shug went before when the Saints took Taylor Shug, whatever his name is. When they took him, I knew it was some bullshit going on. I knew it because that boy he have nothing. He for one he coming off an injury, and for two he's nothing compared to what Shadur did in college. Nothing. So I knew it was some issue. I knew it was something going on.
maybe it was a direct hit at Dion and Prime. That's what I thought it was at first. I said they're
I
trying
think
to
it
make an
is. I
example.
still think it was to get back in prime.
Exactly. That's what I think. I don't think it was the ratings and whatever else. The draft is a draft. Fans gonna have fun, but I'm telling you, they taking a shot at Dion because Dion was like, "Listen, I want to be in Hunter's interviews. I'm gonna be in my son's interviews to make sure basically they go to a right fit of a team." And Dion is real arrogant, so a lot of GMs didn't like that. They said, "Oh, he's too arrogant. No, we gonna have to teach him a lesson." That's why I said it was collusion. We're gonna have to teach him a lesson by basically having his son fall in the draft to humble Dion. And that's what I think. Which was
Well,
crazy.
I think that teams were saying that if we draft Shador, then Dion's gonna be all in our business. Because remember when Dion had that interview, he said, "I know the ends. I know what goes on behind closed doors."
Mhm.
The minute that, and I think teams are still scared of that. That the minute that something doesn't go right, Dion's gonna speak his mind.
Mhm.
He gonna call people out, and I think that's gonna. I think that's gonna scare. I think that scared some of these teams. Not necessarily because of they're scared of Dion that he's going to have. I think that Dion's is the influence that Dion has had at Jackson State and Colorado, and he's on TV and social media. I think that it's going to take the limelight away from these certain teams, and and it's going to make them look bad. Because I feel sorry for Cleveland if they pick another starting quarterback and Shador doesn't play, then they're gonna get ran into the ground. On the other hand, if they let Shador play and he doesn't do good, his play is gonna become the second coming of Deshaun Watson.
Mm.
So it's gonna be damned if they do, damned if they don't. So I like what Crystal said. Politics to me, way too many opinions involved in the decision making based on your personal perception. Yeah.
Hey, that's why I said collusion. there's there's no way around that either. I mean, that's what happens when you want to prove a point.
Because all I kept hearing was he didn't interview well and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. But on the other hand, I heard that there were some teams that did say he interviewed well, and there were some teams that said they were going to pick him. They just didn't.
So so one of the things that I had um and actually I got the file um was that was the interview, some of the interviews, and one of the main issues that two teams had with him in interviews was that one, he was late to the interview. They asked him why he was late. What happened? Was it traffic? Was it whatever? Instead of him, he could have easily told a lie, but he basically said he had to go get his jewelry. Um, Second interview that he had, that a team made a team decide to take him off their board, was his cockiness, his arrogance in the interview. They didn't like the way he approached some questions, and he took a FaceTime call in the middle of the interview. Um, Giants said that they asked him to draw a play up on the board, break the play down. He couldn't do either one. Now it could be a lie. They could say, they could put out whatever they want to put out to the media, or they could put out whatever they want to put out. It could be a lie. Um, but what I watched was I watched Chris. Um, Call my mama back. I watched Chris. What's that boy name? Chris. No, Chris Carter. I watched Chris Carter's podcast that night, and I think I put it in a group for everybody to listen to. And some of the things that Chris said is it said spoke volumes, and you could tell that some of the things that Chris said he got from being on the inside. And it basically boiled down to, I don't, it basically just boiled down to, I think Chris even said on the interview at some point that at first he felt like it was all about getting back at Dion. It was all about the fact that Dion was his daddy. Dion coached him his whole career. It was all about, okay, well, we can't get Dion like we want to, so we're gonna go through his kids and hurt him or get to him, that we've been trying to do for years. But he said when he spoke with some of these GMs and inside folks about different things, again, a lie ain't nothing to tell. Nobody was there but them, so we don't know. They could have told Chris the same thing. It could be a lie, whatever. But if some of those things are true that was said, then I understand why he feel how he feel. I understand why. If some of those things are true. But I want to say, being that who your dad was and the type of man your dad was and how your dad raised you, trained you, I want to say you would have known better to go to interviews and do this. As cocky as Dion was, he have the right to. Dion have earned the right to be cocky. Just because you're his son, You haven't earned that right to be cocky. What you do on the field gonna matter. Dion done paved his way. He made who he is. Dion is who he is, and he's gonna forever be who he is. His name is cemented to who he is. You have to pave your own way. Just because that's your dad, that doesn't mean everybody gonna give you everything on the silver platter because you Dion Sanders' son. You gotta understand and realize a lot of these folks don't like your daddy. Didn't like your daddy. You have to come in and do what's best, do what you're supposed to do.
But
So
Nikki,
I'm praying.
can I ask a question though?
Hmm.
If this was Peyton Manning and his son,
Hmm.
I
and he
just
had
want
the numbers
Hmm.
that Shadur had,
Hmm.
and he walked in there cocky because his dad was in the NFL, and
Hmm.
it's not. Do you think we'd be in the same scenario?
No, because we wasn't in the same scenario and they did it. But you're not the right color.
shit. Eli and Peyton was
They did
basically
it.
doing the same thing.
They did it and got away with it. They did it. You have to remember. I hate. I really don't like comparing it to that, but it is. It is. It's just what it is. Because I mean, what when it really became eye opener for me, Tom Brady trained you. Tom Brady worked with you. Tom Brady sent you a text and told you it doesn't matter where you get picked at. It's what you do when you get it. It's you take the opportunity when you get it. I was 199 and look where I'm at. I'm the GOAT. That's what Tom Brady texted him. But Tom Brady failed to text him that he told the Raiders don't draft him.
Yeah.
So, in a hindsight, it's still gonna always go back to they gonna stick together. They gonna stick together.
And that's why it's collusion. That's what
They
happens.
gonna stick together. Now
Collusion.
Jerry got real petty with him. You ain't have to tell me take him out. You ain't got nobody told me take him off my board because he never was on my board. Jerry, nobody asked you to say that though. Nobody asked you to say that. Just like the Tampa Bay GM, they didn't want Shiloh. The agent begged them to take him. Why did you feel the need to reveal that? Why did you feel the need to reveal that?
Take a shot at his dad. That's
That part.
why.
That part.
You wanna you wanna
That part.
you wanna hurt somebody, go at their kids.
Go at their kids.
And that's exactly what they were doing.
Call Stephen A. Call Stephen A. And it is what it is. I like Shador. I like Dion. I love Dion. I like Shador. I wish him the best. I want him to succeed. I hope he succeeds in the NFL. He has a very good chance of succeeding in Cleveland because they got Joe Flacco, they got Kenny Pickett, they got the boy they draft before him, Dylan, and they got Shador. I really don't even see where that quarterback race is a tight race because really the only person you competing for is to play behind Flacco, until Flacco get hurt or something. He older, so he ain't mobile. So you have to have a line for him. But so I I really honestly feel like Shador have a chance in Cleveland to play. Uh, Watson ain't coming back this year, and this probably Watson last year playing with Cleveland because they have a way out of his contract after this season. Now, if you want to say somebody got paid and didn't do nothing, there you go. Somebody got paid and got their money and didn't do nothing, there you go. Am I mad at Watson for it? No, because the Browns was clowns to get him a whole contract guaranteed. They were the clowns. But at the end of the day, whatever, whatever, and whenever Shador get on the field to play as the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, he got to show up. His game got to be speak for itself. You have to let other teams know and see what they missed on what they missed.
He got to make zero mistakes.
But you got to make sure that you're doing it for you and you're doing it right. Kind of, you don't have your daddy no more. You don't have your daddy. Your daddy ain't on the sideline with you no more. So now we really about to see what you made of. That's all I got to say on it.
He should sit for 2 years though. They should sit him for 2 years. I don't know why not.
How you
Some
gonna sit for
quarterback
2 years when he got a team full of bad quarterbacks? Joe Flacco 50.
because they got Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco. We don't know what the situation is. They could actually look to tank because the quarterbacks coming out next year is gonna be better.
Yeah, it's better. I
It's
said that.
much better next year.
I said that last. I said it on the show. Said it.
It's
I
gonna be
said this
better.
year is not really a year for quarterbacks. Yeah, I ain't had but like three that was worth it, and he was one of them.
All I know is that
But
sometimes
Watson not coming back this year. They already said Watson not playing. It's not looking to play this year. So you
but
got Kent, you got Flacco. He 50. He can't run. He get one round hit. He 50. And then you got Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett, then been on what 5 teams now?
three.
Shadur, it well three. However many, that's too many. And Dylan, the boy they drafted before Shadur, he's not better than Shadur. And that's the thing. I said, like, you're right, Jay. That's how we knew Raiders needed a backup to Geno. Tom Brady, Tom Brady trained him. They needed a backup to Geno. They passed on him. Saints need a quarterback. They passed on him.
When the Saints passed on him,
When the Saints, I said, oh, he ain't going in the top. He ain't going to first round. When the Saints passed on him, I said he ain't going first round. Then here comes second round. Giants came back 2 days later. Still didn't pick him. Cleveland came back 10 times later. Still didn't pick him. I knew something was up. You're going to learn to be humble. That's what it was. The Browns people didn't even seem excited when they called his name. They was just like, so I don't know. But all in all, I wish him the best. I wish him well. I hope he succeed. I hope he succeed and I hope he do well. That's what I do. I do wish. I love Dion. I love his dad. But I told y'all in college and I told y'all on this show plenty of times, he does not have his daddy talent. And that's it. And that's all I'm gonna say on
Mm. Like I said, if I was Cleveland, I wouldn't even let him play this year. You take the pressure off of him when he doesn't play. Go ahead and play Flacco, Kenny Pickett, or whoever. I would just sit him. Some of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, they sat a year or two before they started to play anyway. So why rush him? If he's not ready, why rush him? He needs to gain weight anyway, and he's going to be playing in the cold. It's cold in Cleveland come November and December. I wouldn't even play him right now.
Well, he played in Colorado, right?
Yeah, but Colorado is not like playing in Cleveland, though. Near the lakes, it's totally different. That wind, by the stadium, that wind is no joke. So that's why I would sit him.
I just don't know if they have enough time to sit him. I just don't know with their quarterback room if he's going to be able to sit that long. I just don't know that. I don't see that because of the quarterback room. I don't see him being able to sit 2 years.
Or a year. Look at the division, though. Don't look at the quarterback situation. Look at their division. You have the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals ahead of them. Where they going right now? That's why I'm saying sit them. They're not going to beat the Ravens. They're not going to be better than the Bengals, and they're not going to be better than the Steelers. So why rush them? That's my point. Why rush them when they're not going to go anywhere? That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, hey, you take the pressure off of everybody if you sit them. There's no expectations when you sit. Not one, not two, not three. There's no expectations. Let them learn. Let them gain some weight. Let them understand the pro game. That's why I would sit them for at least a year. That's what I would do. But let's see what the GM is going to do. Because they're not going to win. They might finish in last place in their division. They don't have the firepower to deal with the Ravens and the Bengals right off the bat. If you look at their roster. Yeah, I've been to Colorado. Snow and cold totally different, bro. Go to Cleveland. Go to Cleveland in November, right near to the water. I've been to
Yeah,
Colorado. That ain't no
that's
joke.
yeah, that snow out there and that snow coming off them lakes ain't no joke.
Yo, I'm telling you, I've been to Cleveland. I'm telling you, no. I've been to
Cleveland,
Colorado
look,
too.
Cleveland, Detroit,
Yeah,
Buffalo, Niagara.
yeah, that shit different.
Nah,
That snow is woo.
shit, the cold in Chicago, all that stuff is different.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
Vortex
Chicago
is different. I'm telling you, it's different.
and Denver. It's different.
And that's why the Browns are moving to the suburbs in a couple of years because they're gonna have a dome stadium because it's too cold.
I think our stadiums with that type of weather should have a dome. Even Buffalo definitely need a dome. Kansas City need a dome. All teams that play in that type of weather need a dome. I just think that is so unfair to fans. Even though they pay it, they do it. They've been doing it. They sit out there. But I just think that's so unfair to fans to have to sit through that type of brutal treatment to watch and cheer for their team, and especially when they team end up losing. That's horrible. Like I think our teams like that should have a dome. Cause I don't give a damn how much I care about and love the Cowboys. I'm not going shoveling no damn snow for no game before the game to see them play. Y'all better cancel that shit. Y'all better figure that shit out. Cause I'm not going to set up cancel no snow. I'm not doing it.
Mm.
Um, but all teams, and like when we played in urban, that's how it was for us. We had an open roof, but we didn't have as much bad weather here like they do like that's they known for their weather. Every now and then we would get hit with it up here in Dallas. But Jerry was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to my fans no more. I won't. That's why he designed the stadium the way he designed it.
Plus, you can have other events like boxing events, basketball games, whatever else. You could make more money that way when you have a dome.
Well, some of them, like Buffaloes and Pittsburgh, and all those
Mm-mm.
outdoor stadiums, they feel like that it's an advantage to them later on in the year.
Shit.
Yeah.
As Buffalo. They done lost how many times?
That's snow and cold in Buffalo, something else.
And in 2 years and 2 years before that, them men, two men died trying to sit out there and watch them play. Shit. No, no, no. Y'all can have it. Oh, y'all can. Oh, sorry. Y'all can
Well,
have it.
guess what's happening this time next week?
What?
The schedule.
Oh Lord,
What's today? Wednesday? It come out on what, the
I forgot
14th?
about the schedule.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about it because I always get it 2 days before.
I was so amped up about this Pickens trade and thinking about Mingo and also Isaiah Bond. Maybe I was like, ooh, that's gonna have some
I
legs.
hope we get Bond. I really do. I hope we get Bond. I love him. I
More
wanted
weapons, the
him.
better.
I love him. And like I said, I'ma stand by what I said. If Isaiah Bond don't get hurt, we don't know Golden. I mean, we know him, but we would know him to that capacity. And I'm staying on it. Bond is a special type of player to me. He's a special player, and I just really hate that he fighting for his. He's fighting for that right now, for his integrity. He's fighting for all of that right now. Leave these tramps alone.
It's hard sometimes when you fall in love with somebody.
Leave
You know what
these
I'm saying?
tramps alone.
It's hard sometimes. That's what these kids do.
Shannon and damn near lost $100 million. A
We ain't
hundred
gonna talk
million,
about that.
$100 million behind a tramp, 20-year-old tramp. When 20-year ain't Monique. Monique told his ass, "Leave that girl, leave that girl alone.
But
Leave them
that's
youngsters alone."
36-year difference though. We talking about kids in
I
college.
said Monique told him leave them young ass girls alone.
Hey, Shannon, that's on Shannon. But I'm just saying, the kids in college when you're having fun, you're doing your thing, you think you might be with somebody forever. It's different than this 36-year-old man prying on a 19-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? But
Everybody that Cat Williams talked about on Shannon Sharp so far have went down with something,
Hollywood's something else, huh?
ain't it?
And
Ain't it?
people don't understand. And I'm not rich and make millions of dollars, but people don't understand why I go to work and take my butt home.
See, nah, you just have to have good friends when you go and hang out in certain places where there's celebrities. You just have to have a good group of friends with you to keep you on an even keel.
I think for Shannon, it's embarrassing because he have daughters older than this girl. You have daughters older than this girl.
Yeah.
Shannon 56 years old.
Yeah,
And
he's
this girl
36.
20
No,
years old.
he's 36. There's a 36-year-old difference, Crystal. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
36-year difference.
The Raiders signed Isaiah Bourne. I didn't see that. Thanks, Brian.
Well, there you have it.
Now my heart is broke. Okay, good night.
Hey, I'm just glad he has an opportunity to play the game he loves.
Yeah, I just pray and hope that that's the only thing matters to me. But I wanted him. Of course, I wanted him here, but I'm just happy that he's on the team. So I'll take.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I hate it because I wanted him here, but
hey, Henry Ruggs might be a free man next year. You never know.
no, think I'm gonna pass on
Why? He's
that one.
I'm
still
good.
young. He's still young and he's fast. So I'm just saying.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
You know, he made a bad. It was a bad
That was
decision.
a bad
It
decision.
was
It
a
was
bad
a bad
decision.
decision. It was a bad decision, and I
But he's
think
still
everybody deserves a
talented.
chance.
Yeah, yeah.
They said he's rehabbing. He's doing good, and
Every day
Hey,
he's out
man.
working out. He might
O-
get
O-
off on good behavior.
OKC is up 27-11 right now.
oh, who they
On
playing?
Denver, they playing
Denver.
Denver.
Oh, they playing Denver. They lost. They lost the other night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no
And
home teams has won a game yet. No home teams
so
has won. All the road teams has won.
Cleveland
Bless you.
down 2-0, right?
Yep. Boston's
And
down
Boston
2-0.
is down 2-0. And what is it with
OKC is down 1-0. 1-0.
what about the other ones? Them boys, Golden State.
Golden State's up 1-0. So we
Yeah,
gonna
but
see.
but
All the road teams.
Curry's hurt.
Yeah, but Buddy Hill gonna step in and probably play lights up. It's always a
Uh,
backup like that.
Let me back up on this Raiders signing Isaiah Bourne. This is not a real website.
Which website is it? Let me see.
Yeah, this is not this nah. Let me see. No, the Raiders haven't signed him. See, that's why you gotta do your research.
Nah, I'm checking ESPN now. I don't see
No,
anything.
the Raiders haven't signed Tim Byron. No, but Isaiah Bourne haven't been signed. Um, no, that website that's reporting it is a fake sports website. So yeah, so you have to do your research.
No, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, he hasn't been signed. Yeah, he hasn't been signed.
Yeah,
He's
man,
still.
I am so tired of these clickbait stories on Facebook. I mean, not only on Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook. I just opened up Facebook, and the first thing I saw was Jalen Ramsey traded to the Cowboys.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he haven't been signed.
I think Jalen. You know what? Even Jalen Ramsey, I think he'd be better off playing safety than cornerback. Now he's getting a little older. I think he'd be better as a free safety than cornerback right now. So I wouldn't even want to trade for him.
Well, we told you earlier we didn't want we didn't want to trade for him. You was arguing us down.
Because
You didn't do the I think
I'm gonna
we
tell
talk.
you, because I was part of the Jalen Ramsey fan club back in 2016. I
Yeah,
wanted Ramsey
yeah,
and Henry. I wanted
yeah.
Ramsey and Henry. I
We
did.
did. We all did. But you know,
Damn, Jerry.
I was done with him when he said what he said.
He was hurt. He was emotionally strained. That's what happened. He was. He had his heart set playing for the Cowboys, and all of a sudden they don't draft him.
Well,
Well,
fam,
it
guess
is
what
what it
time it
is.
is?
It's time
Old
to
man
go to
time. Let me get it.
bed. Time to go to sleep.
Yes, it is.
It's too early to go to sleep.
So, we'll get back with everybody, and the draft is next Wednesday.
Yes, and we
We'll,
will be
we'll, we'll,
on.
yeah,
With some
we'll,
schedule.
yeah. I'm sorry, the schedule. Wow, they should tell you that's why.
Yeah,
That's why it's old man time.
I guess you're right. I was like, oh Lord. I hope we play the Philadelphia Eagles the first game of the season, though. I really do. I really do. That's what Jerry wants, and I want that too.
Hey,
Kelly,
RP
gotta
time.
be like that. Kelly, you got your
All right.
AARP card? Where my card at?
So yeah, so we'll be able to I guess we'll do the show next Wednesday since it's scheduled drop time. We'll do the
Yeah,
show next Wednesday same time. I'll be available because I don't leave until Friday morning to go to Louisiana to prepare to bury my aunt next Saturday. So yeah, that's it. There you have it. Month of May. It's just a bad month for me. Seems like every May I lose somebody. But I'm still standing, I'm still fighting, and I'm gonna keep praying for that month of May to turn off of my family. But I appreciate all of the phone calls, all of the text messages, everyone that reached out that knows that my aunt passed away last Friday, my mom's sister. So I just you know I needed this show tonight because it's a good space for me. It's a good space for me. My family have been through it. We have been through the ring of the last since might as well say since 2022 when my uncle got murdered. And the crazy thing is we burying her next Saturday, the day my uncle was killed. So I'm asking for extra prayers for that because that's gonna be a little rough on us. But we got to get through it. So, but I appreciate everybody. Appreciate you guys. Um, I love you all, and we'll do this again next week. Everybody stay prayed up. Keep God first, and we will all push through this time of like thing called life.
that's
So,
what's up.
anyway, have a
Indeed.
good night, everybody.
All right, good. I love you, Nikki.
Love y'all
God
too.
bless y'all. God bless.
All right, see you next week.
All right. Bye.